If you're running a busy social media agency or just trying to seriously scale up your content game, you know that if your backend is a total mess, everything else quickly spirals into chaos. You end up constantly hunting through folders and drives just to find that one specific 2-second clip you filmed way back during last month's client interview. Then there's the scramble to transform an hour-long webinar or podcast into 30 seconds of genuinely shareable, engaging gold for every single platform. You're also stuck sending those last-minute, slightly panicked Ds and emails asking, "Hey, did you happen to see that draft I sent over yesterday?" Meanwhile, you're skillfully juggling 5, 7, or maybe even 10 different client profiles or creator channels all at once, which ultimately squeezes all the actual creativity right out, leaving only endless admin. That feeling of being swamped is precisely why I wanted to make this video today. Because for me, a tool called Vizard completely changed the game. Vizard fundamentally changed the way I handle my long-form content pipeline, turning what felt like a massive operational bottleneck into something I genuinely enjoy executing every single day. In this walkthrough, I'm going to take you through exactly how I built a completely smooth, client-ready workflow around Vizard, step by crucial step, using real-world examples from my own agency's daily operations. If you are an ambitious creator, a busy freelancer, or running a rapidly growing agency, trust me when I say this. Next section is specifically tailor-made for you. First off, let's address the question, why Vizard when there are so many other tools promising some kind of content creation magic out there? You've got those expensive, powerful editors that, let's be honest, still require you to manually scrub through hours of footage for every single clip. Then you see the specialized clip tools that are fast, sure, but they often only function using rigid preset templates that don't capture nuance. And finally, you have scheduling platforms that are great for calendar management, but still force you to feed every single piece of content into them by hand, which is the ultimate time sink. Vizard sets itself apart because it genuinely automates the single most tedious part of the entire process, the painstaking job of actually finding the truly good, viral-worthy bits. It intelligently auto-edits high-potential clips out of your long videos, and then, critically, it lets you manage the scheduling and publishing across all channels in one unified content calendar. This revolutionary approach translates directly into less hours spent on tedious manual clipping, fewer moments wasted asking, "Where is that clip from?" and exponentially more time dedicated to high-level strategy and compelling storytelling. Now, let me physically walk you through how I establish a brand new client workflow right from the ground up inside the Vizard environment. The absolute first action I take is creating a completely dedicated project or distinct workspace for every single client relationship we manage. So, if I'm simultaneously managing content for a high-energy fitness brand and a more reserved fintech founder, each client gets its own segregated workspace to ensure zero overlap whatsoever. Next, you simply upload all of your raw, unedited long-form source material. This includes podcasts, recorded interviews, webinars, live streams, or even very long-form reels. As soon as those files are in, Vizard's powerful AI immediately begins its intensive analysis of the entire video content. The system intelligently searches for those specific highlight moments, compelling sound bites, genuine laugh reactions, and those critical emotional peaks that always perform best as short-form clips. Once the footage is processed, the next critical step is organizing everything logically by creating distinct campaigns based on the theme or the specific marketing goal. You might set up campaigns specifically for an upcoming product launch, a set of evergreen educational tips, any fresh user-generated content, or a dedicated promotional push. The evergreen campaign is one you should always be actively populating, because those pieces of content are fantastic bits you can reliably repurpose and sprinkle across multiple months without fail. This structured campaign approach keeps everything perfectly contextualized, allowing both your internal team and the client to grasp the entire big picture instantly without excessive scrolling through unrelated content. Now, here is the single play that single-handedly saves me the most amount of valuable production time every single week: the automatic viral clip generation feature. Instead of manually trimming, reviewing, and marking up every single segment of every video, I let Vizard proactively surface a curated selection of candidate clips from each long-form source. Generally speaking, the AI is incredibly accurate, usually pulling out about 8 to 12 high-potential clips for every single hour of source footage you provided. From that initial AI selection, I can then quickly preview every candidate clip, make minor tweaks to the exact start or endpoints if needed, add custom captions, or simply let the clip run as is if the AI got it perfectly tight. That live preview capability is absolutely clutch, because you get to approve the final short-form look before anyone else on the team or the client ever lays eyes on it, significantly reducing tedious back-and-forth revisions. The next huge workflow jump comes when you invite your editors, your captioners, your strategists, and of course, the client themselves, directly into the Vizard workspace. This level of integrated access is where Vizard truly outperforms many of the traditional siloed setups we all used to rely on for approvals. You can assign specific roles, so the editor can focus only on visual adjustments, the strategist can tag the post for optimal distribution channels, and the client can simply approve or request very minor changes. This eliminates those messy, confusing WhatsApp threads and those awkwardly version-controlled Google Docs that nobody ever seems to have the latest copy of. All feedback happens right there, directly commenting on the specific clip in question, and you can formally mark feedback as resolved once the task is complete, creating a clear audit trail. And I highly recommend this. If your client isn't super tech-savvy, take 60 seconds to record a quick screen walkthrough showing them exactly how to approve a clip. That small investment pays massive dividends and save time later. To maintain sanity as you scale, you must organize your finished clips with exceptionally clear labels and adhere strictly to consistent naming conventions across the board. I use a scheme like year, month, project name, platform, clip number, so that when you or a new team member searches 6 months from now, you aren't playing guesswork with a vague file name. Furthermore, utilize the internal-only notes feature to drop in specific team briefs or strategic pointers that are essential for production, but are not meant for the client's eyes. I also strongly advocate for adopting a template approach for your recurring clip types, like a standard hook point CTA structure, which speeds up the entire post-production flow dramatically. Creating those standard clip structure templates inside Vizard means the AI's output is already much closer to your final goal before you even look at it the first time. One of my absolute favorite integrated features is the visual content calendar, which lets you line up finalized clips, drag and drop them across different publication dates, and preview the entire feed's look. For visually driven brands, I frequently switch over to the grid preview mode to check how the text overlays and thumbnails harmonize aesthetically across the week. However, for content-heavy brands focused on consistency, the simple list view calendar is my go-to because it ensures the posting cadence remains logical and avoids stacking similar topics consecutively. And here's the ultimate freedom. Because Vizard supports true auto-scheduling, you can literally set the desired posting frequency, and the AI intelligently fills those empty slots with your highest-rated clips. That capability alone frees up an enormous amount of cognitive load because you no longer need to manually select a clip for every single day if you trust the system and maintain excellent asset labeling. The in-app collaboration through the comments section is incredibly seamless. If a client requests a specific edit, like shortening an intro, you jump right on the clip and reply directly to their exact query. You aren't emailing screenshots or redlining PDFs. Instead, tagging and resolving those comments creates a fully traceable history of every single decision made on that asset. Speaking of complete traceability, Vizard maintains a comprehensive activity log tracking who exported, who scheduled, or who made any change to a clip, which is invaluable when someone later claims they never actually approved a specific post. The final approval workflow is another notorious friction point for agencies, but it's elegantly simple inside Vizard because you can build multi-stage approvals right into the process. This means the creative lead signs off on the edit first, the strategist approves the final messaging, and only then does the client give the final sign-off before anything is even queued for publishing. That structured sign-off process completely removes the classic frustrating agency drama like, "But I thought you already told the client that was posted last Tuesday." Once everything has the green light across all required stages, you simply hit the publish button, and Vizard handles the rest by pushing the clips directly to your connected social profiles. The direct scheduling features let you precisely pick target time zones, easily flag and reuse your historically top-performing clips, or queue an entire week's worth of content in one focused session. And in that inevitable moment when a campaign pivot happens, like a critical launch date shifting suddenly, you can simply drag the scheduled post to a new date. Absolutely no panic required, and no assets are ever lost. I want to be transparent for a moment and compare this to the other tools you might be using right now. Traditional editors like Premiere or Final Cut Pro are undeniably powerful workstations. But for this high-volume, rapid turnaround workflow, they are inherently too slow, demanding significant, expensive manual time from experienced editors per clip. Template-based platforms can indeed offer speed advantages, but they often completely miss the crucial, subtle nuance that actually elevates a clip from good to truly viral on social feeds. And while dedicated scheduling platforms excel at calendar oversight, they offer zero help in the initial critical stages of finding or editing the actual content, meaning you're still tethered to producing everything outside of their ecosystem. Those functional gaps are exactly where Vizard positions itself perfectly in the market. It combines automated clip creation with intelligent scheduling and calendar management, all in one spot. It's not necessarily the perfect tool for every single obscure niche edge case you might encounter, But for agencies and creators who rely heavily on repurposing long-form video, it acts as a monumental workflow multiplier. I want to quickly share a few practical, real-world tips that helped me smooth out this entire system even further after the initial setup phase. First, go ahead and create reusable templates within Vizard for all your different clip archetypes. Think tips, reaction content, mini tutorials, or simple highlights, so the AI output aligns with a known working structure. Second, invest time in those short onboarding videos for each client, explicitly showing them the review process. This single proactive step will save you countless hours of confusing email chains later. Third, enforce incredibly strict naming conventions for absolutely every single asset you produce. Consistency in that area pays dividends exponentially when your volume starts to scale up rapidly. Fourth, make liberal use of those internal-only comments to provide your content team with strategic pointers and necessary context without cluttering up the client-facing review thread. And finally, make sure you actually dive into Vizard's performance metrics to learn exactly which hooks and content formats are genuinely resonating with your audience, letting the data guide your next creation cycle. My core message to you today is this. Managing a successful social media business or handling multiple creators is already an immense amount of work. When your operational backend is clunky, slow, and full of friction, it effectively robs your creative energy and attention by forcing you into constant administrative firefighting. Vizard helps you reclaim those lost hours, systematize those messy approvals, and ultimately allows your entire operation to show up to every client meeting with a polished, professional front. This truly doesn't feel like just bolting on another expensive, unnecessary piece of software. It feels like finally fixing the foundational workflow you actually use every single day. If you are serious about building a client-ready, fully scalable system for consistently turning mountains of long videos into a steady stream of high-performing short content, I urge you to try Vizard and see how much faster your pipeline accelerates. If you have any specific questions at all about setting up this exact structure for your own agency, or want feedback on the naming templates and campaign structure I personally use, please drop those questions right down in the comments below. I will personally be hanging around in the comments section for a while to jump in and offer advice on the setup nuances, so don't hesitate to ask anything that comes to mind. And finally, if this detailed workflow walkthrough provided you with any real value or saved you even a little bit of headache this week, please share this video with a friend who is currently drowning in raw footage, and be sure to subscribe for more hands-on workflow optimization tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I sincerely look forward to catching up with all of you in the next workflow deep dive.